episode 2. Plus, welcome to the show. I'm Jay. That's Steve.
Howdy, hi, neighborinos.
Alright, so let's get the news out of the way. January 9th, we got Attack on Titan extending Toonami to 4 a.m. again, as Attack on Titan, its final season, which ends at 12:30, and everything goes back a half hour. But that's not it, because on, if I can find it real quick, on January 16th at 2:30 a.m., tonight we will also be getting quadruple S grid mod. So that's something.
Ooh. Ooh.
That's your Toonami news. Now here's your previews from Zup to It. And Cowboy Bebop. Spike's past comes back to haunt him as he goes after a member of the Red Dragon Syndicate. For Spike to survive, he will have to face his old friend and comrade, Vistus, alone. And Cowboy Bebop. Bebop is anything enemy for the first time since Shad left his past behind 8 years before. He tries to patch the acceptable Lisa, the girl who broke his heart, but instead walks into a crisis of loyalties. And Cowboy Bebop, a strange organism roams the ship and causes a great illness. And Cowboy Bebop. The Bebop is running no one's obliged. His son is Walter Griffith, specialized in matrimony, fraud, and fairy feels sorry when she was first woken from cold sleep. And Cowboy Bebop, a prison ship reunites the jet with his partner Horns Days of the ISSP. The prisoner in charge is responsible for the damage of the jet's arm. Not Jet, the black dog. Has scored a set. I went to dog bites. He doesn't let go. And Cowboy Bebop. Fago is able after a tough day at the races. Sweating Jack open a package with the last rated examples of the antique video format known as Mega. And the quest to watch it takes him all the way to the ruins of old Earth. And Cowboy Bebop. Faye searches for clues to her identity and turns up the crucial pieces as a puzzle. The crew reluctantly return to the crater's stern Earth, where Faye finally comes face to face with a figure from her past. And that's sure to say, and now to Steve for the rest of the show.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Jay. There's only one wrestling news. There's only one bit of wrestling news that all of us fans are talking about, and so is the wrestling world. Shocking passing of Brody Lee at the age of 41. His wife said that in a statement that he passed away from a lung issue, not COVID related. Manoff said Lee passed away surrounded by loved ones after a hard-fought battle with the lung issue. She thanked the Mayo Clinic for their help. Among those that gave their comments, Bray Wyatt on Brody Lee's passing. Wyatt wrote on his Instagram, quote, "You're my best friend, my brother, my partner, my Terry Gordy. We changed this home game because we refused to do it any way but our way. We were always at our best when we were a team. I think we both knew it. We fought like brothers because we were. I'm so GD pissed. This isn't how it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be us fat, bald, and useless running Wyatt family spots in high school gyms in our 70s. Where do we go now? What do I do knowing I'll never hear your condescending sarcasm as I am riding high? I miss you so effing much already. I would do anything, just live through our worst moments again. I can't believe you're gone. I'm so sorry, brother. I'm so sorry. You'll always be a part of me, whether I like it or not. Without you, everything is different, and I hope Amanda truly knows that I am here not just to say it, but because I love them too. I'll make sure your son knows the incredible man you were. Not the legends people will tell, but the real you that very few people got to see. I promise I'll put him over clean in dark matches when he's old enough, just like I promised. I'm hurting so bad. I wish I had a chance to say goodbye, but then again, it's Saturday, and you know what that means. Save me a seat next to you wherever you are. That's where I belong. I'll be there when it's my time. Goodbye, Brody. I love you. End quote. Braun Strowman, who was a Wyatt family member, wrote, I'm at a loss for words. Hashtag rest well, brother. Tony Khan, the owner of AEW, made a statement as well. We're going to bring you that statement as when I find it here. Hey, hang on, folks. Let's see, let's get to the statement, and then I'll make a little commentary. There we go. AEW CEO Tony Khan released the following statement on the passing of Brody Lee, real name John Hubert. Quote, I'm devastated by the loss of John Hubert, known to fans as Mr. Brody Lee, formerly Luke Harper. John was a great man. His family came first, his living wife Amanda and their sons Brody and Nolan. He loved wrestling, and he was great at it. He loved you fans. Please keep him in your hearts. There is more reaction. Go to WrestlingInc.com and hear what was Brody Lee next to last interview he did with AEW Uncensored. Go to the AEW bit of YouTube, and this interview is interesting and very much off the cuff, and I think you're going to like it. My comment is, as you know, AEW is scheduled, and I point that out, scheduled to have a quote-unquote New Year's Eve bash live on the last live edition of AEW Dynamite on TNT this coming Wednesday. I think it would be a tribute more that instead of making it a New Year's Eve bash, that Tony Khan and everybody at AEW would rename it. And rename it a celebration of life. A tribute to Brody Lee. Wrestling and memories. They should do that on the last Wednesday Dynamite in the year 2020 before they do their little New Year's celebration with Snoop Dogg. They should do that. Give us a little celebration of the life that was and is Brody Lee. All of us wrestling fans hope that happens, because there's a lot to this guy that meets the eye. He is one of the best and finest. And AEW treated him right, I will state. So, to Brody Lee, rest in immortal paradise. And to the man behind Brody Lee, the same, rest in immortal paradise. We give him the 10. Okay, let's get into some more news. Brody Lee would probably be saying, guys, do what you do. Inform the public. So that's what we're going to do. Yes.
Steve,
Yes, Jay.
it's Sunday. You know what that
Indeed.
means.
Oh, yes. I do. I know what Sunday means. Okay, Jim Ross had a nice little thing to say in his Grill and JR podcast. He gave his thoughts about what WWC's issues are with their product and why the ratings have been down. He noted one issue that the company has with their television product. Quote, "They don't have anybody hot. They have nobody that has momentum. Nobody is on the proverbial roll. You can't start, stop, 50-50 booking. I'll beat you with a small package, and then you beat me up. How do you get that momentum? How do you get any momentum? He did the job, so I have to give him something back. What bull? Not tonight, not now. It makes no sense. That's 50-50 booking. You can't have it both ways. Do you want the people to be happy or sad? Do you want them angry or do you want them laughing? Well, I want both. Well, then you're an idiot. You can't have that." End quote. Ross also talked about Ric Flair during the podcast and infamous stories about him showing off his little Nate to members of the company. He said Flair loved to mess around, and the way he'd do it sometimes is by dropping his pants. Now, he only revealed himself when he was erect. Arn Anderson called it a hockey stick. That was Nate. His spirit was undeniable. He was back to having fun again. He probably had several drinks and was just having fun. He would talk about Flair and stories he's heard over the years about him showing the other wrestlers his body. He said Flair enjoyed having fun with the guys who would always take everything to the next level. Quote, "They're always embellished. If a hijink happened on the 12th floor at midnight, by 12:15 they'd already been embellished in pro wrestling. They're already inaccurate. You always hear those stories, especially when he's in the room. Ric Flair with knee-high socks, some sort of reptile shoes, his rope, and then you had the new accessories, the mask, and then bam, he's going to show you the Batman uniform. He just got a kick out of that. He was just having fun. I've seen his more than I deserve to admit. That was his calling card. It was all in the spirit of having fun with the boys. Nate, as he did everything, took it to the next level. Grilling JR and Wrestling Inc., blessed for the transcription. I may never get that image out of my head. I will. Oh, did I just say something? Give it to me, sound effects. Thank you. You're wondering whatever happened to Pat McAfee. Well, he's been pulled from WWE television. Although no reason was provided, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, which means take the following with a grain of salt, the tiniest of grains. He reported earlier that the decision to stop using McAfee was WWE's call and not McAfee's. In the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, it was noted that McAfee doesn't have any heat with the brass of the WWE, and this is just a case of WWE wanting him off TV for a while rather than using him on a regular basis on NXT. Earlier on Saturday, McAfee tweeted, "I think I got fired on Christmas," along with screenshots of reports that WWE was pulling him off from TV. Meltzer noted that McAfee was just having fun about the situation, and he doesn't have any issues with the WWE either. There is no word when McAfee is expected to return to WWE TV. And let's get you some more latest news before we call this a bit of a enchilada. Yes. Okay, let's do that. All these stories, by the way, all this news coming courtesy of Wrestling Inc. Go to WrestlingInc.com for all the latest news of pro wrestling. Well, William Regal may be NXT's resident authority figure, but the former King of the Ring had quite the storied career before he traded his trunks for a suit and tie. Despite making a global name for himself here in the States, Regal apparently knew little about American wrestling growing up. Speaking on the Swerve City podcast, Regal revealed his entire wrestling knowledge came from what he saw on Saturday afternoon television. Quote, I didn't see any American wrestling until 2 years after I was a wrestler. We had our own wrestling on at 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, British wrestling, which is now turned to World of Sport on ITV. It was an hour, 50 minutes actually, at 4 o'clock every Saturday afternoon. I grew up watching a different style of wrestling, different characters. All I remember from being probably 4 years of age, I used to go sit with my granddad from being 7. I was very lucky. My father wasn't the greatest wrestling fan, but he used to take me to live wrestling every 2 weeks in their city. End quote. Regal's fascination with wrestling from an early age propelled him to pursue the sport for a career. According to the NXT general manager, he had his career paths narrowed down to 3. Quote, I can honestly think of any time when I didn't say, fantastic. I'll mention that as well. Thank you. It was 3 things. I either wanted to be a wrestler, a clown, or a comedian. Insert political joke here. And that was it. I've always thought I got to do all 3 doing this. End quote. Despite not knowing if he could actually handle it physically, Regal knew pro wrestling was his calling. Quote, I didn't know if I had the athleticism or the ability, but I knew I was going to try to get into some kind of that world because I knew real life wasn't for me. Is real life ready for anyone? My earliest memories were me thinking that my dad is the nicest person I know, but all he does is look at a row of bricks all week. That's not the way my brain can handle. I couldn't do that. So thank you, Swerve City Podcast, and as usual, the good folks at Wrestling Inc. And we do bring you a little bit of a memoriam, since this is our final little broadcast of 2020. We thought in our little wrestling segment we would say our own little farewells to those who have, passed on in the if we can do that. Thank you, boys. So here with Bell, as soon as it pops up, are all the names of the wrestlers that have left us this year. Brody Lee being the newest member. So here we go. Pompero Firpo, Kazuo Sakurada, La Parka II, Rocky Johnson, Steve Gillespie, Justice Payne, Hercules Alaya, Carlos Rocha. That was January. March, Rip Oliver, Wayne Bridges. April, the man, the legend, Joe Pedicino. The Howard Zebra Kid, Kevin Clark, Black Little Heart, Discovery, Chad Gaspard, Olga Martinez, Larry Zonka, Lorenzo Hawk Bandito #1, Hana Kimura, Danny Havoc. I had to stop the bell for a while. June, Michael Blade, Cananova, Matematico 2, Johnny Walker, Ares El Guerrero, Heroes, Adam Bueller, Pequeno Jackie Mate, Grand Titan. Killer Tim Brooks. July, Z-Bar. Cat LaRue. Mark Rocco. August, Mitch Ryder. Tony Russo. Kamala. Xavier. Mike Bullet Bob Armstrong. September. Warrior. October. Len Rossi. Ryan Seil. Karsten Beck. Principe Carrillo. Tracy Smothers. You and I saw Tracy Smothers, Jay. He was good. Saw him at the event for Grapplers, I do believe. Yes, I was. House of Grapplers. Great guy. Had a lot of good memories. Shared them with all of us. He will be missed as well. In November, The Bruiser. Silvano Souza. Bob Ryder. Bobby Lee. And in December, Pat Patterson. Tommy Tiny Lister. Kevin Green. Danny Hodge. And Brody Lee. To all who passed to the golden gates of MSG in heaven, or Heaven's Madison Square Garden, you will be met by those of wrestling legend. You can bet Gorilla Monsoon, Lord Alfred Hayes, and Bobby Heenan will be on the call. To these wrestlers, we say to all, rest in paradise. For bringing wrestling to all of us, making all of us see how you guys do it, and make us all wish we were in that ring. And to the future, to those future wrestlers, look to these men and women. Learn from them. Look at videos. Film. To be a good wrestler. To be one of the greats. Learn. No matter how you do it. Learn. And we'll definitely be seeing you either at the what used to be called TCF Bank Arena, or even here. To all you wrestling fans, if you want to see some of the greats, go to your independent shows. Because I'll tell you, they got a lot of stories, and they're not afraid to tell it to you, if you ask them nicely. And that, my friends, is it for us on our final show of 2020. We will be back for our first show in 2021 doing what we do best, and that is to entertain and to always make sure you get the best of anime and wrestling in one show. For the Brain, I'm the Baxman. Brain, you got anything left to say?
See you, Space Cowboy.
And I've only got one thing to say on that, and that's simply this. Bang.
We'll see you next time.